Everybody to our Provo Municipal Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, November, what is today? It says 15th, 29th at 5:31, 2 p.m. We're glad to have everyone here. Meetings of the Municipal Council are being held in hybrid fashion. Members of the public can view council meetings on YouTube and Facebook, or they may attend here in person in the council chambers. I'll remind participants to mute your microphone when not speaking to minimize the potential for background noises and conversations to be picked up. My name is George Handley. I'm council chair. I'm joined on the dais today by Vice Chair Councilor McKay, Councilor Whipple, Councilor Shipley, Councilor Ellsworth, and Councilor Fillmore. And Travis Hoban may be joining us later on Zoom, but for now is excused. Also, Mayor Kafusi and Wayne Parker, our Chief Administrative Officer, and Gary Millward, our city attorney. We will begin with an opening prayer offered by Melanie McCord. Amen. Thank you. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be provided by Councilor Ellsworth. Please join us for that. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right, we will now enter our public comment period. Let me provide some instructions about public comment. As indicated on the screen, a required public hearing will be held for certain agenda items prior to council action. After each such item has been presented, time to comment will be provided for all those who wish to speak. For items that do not require a public hearing, public comment will still be taken following the presentation of the item, but will be limited to 10 minutes. At this time, up to 15 minutes have been set aside for an open public comment period, which is intended to allow comment on matters that do not appear on the agenda. Persons who speak during this time to an item that is on the agenda will not normally be afforded a second opportunity to speak during the period specific to that item. During any public comment period, each speaker will generally be limited to 2 minutes. Due to noticing requirements, no formal action will be taken in this meeting on matters that do not appear on the agenda. Those with comments are invited to approach the podium. Those participating on Zoom will need to use the raise hand feature to indicate that they wish to comment, and I may choose to alternate between in-person and online commenters. Please state your name and city of residence, and you will have 2 minutes to speak.
Melanie McCord, Provo. I have said this to you many times before, and I'll keep saying it because it's true. Policy making begins with money allocating. During work session today, you considered 2 items that are going to require money if you are going to have your policies instituted. And I want to talk to you about those briefly. The first is the statement that staff did not have the time, money, labor to accomplish the anonymous objections petition to your ADU proposals. I agree with George that this is a neighborhood contention program. And I think that we hire our employees to do this hard work for us. And I think that you need to fund zoning enforcement sufficiently that they can do that. If they don't have the time, labor, or resources to administer this program the way that it should be done, then give that to them. In January, you're going to have some, you're going to be setting some council goals. I think one of those should be that you look forward to June for budget season and fund with at least another $200,000 the zoning enforcement office. So, and I also suggest that you look very carefully at who you have hired in that office, because it's my opinion that you have some zoning enforcement people who don't believe in zoning enforcement, don't believe it can be done. So let's find a way to do it. The second item was your general plan amendment program, and that you haven't got data. I agree with you, George, with what you said about the council's flying blind unless they have actual data. And that brings up the question of the housing audit that you have talked about for years, funding the housing audit. You need to do that. So January, one of your goals for the council ought to be completing that housing audit, one that's done by a reputable and fully vetted firm. Okay. And then make sure that it gets funded in June. Okay. Those are my two recommendations. I'm done.
Thank you. Is there other comment from the public?
My name is Matuvai, originally from Tonga, and we have king and queen. In America, we have president. Now, from Springville to Orem, there is a trail on the mountain. We propose that be a road, an apartment on top and single housing at the bottom. And that from now till President Nielsen will be 100 years in 24. And we celebrate in September, and the election in November. The mayor will run for president. And during this time, the men that the mayor told what to do should take the primary president from the mayor's ward and the stake in the general authority and ask with them three in the general and ask prophet and his council and the 12 to let the prophet so leaves be 100 so we can celebrate his birthday. Then the mayor run for president. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comment from the public? All right, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council to begin our agenda tonight. We'll begin with item number 1, which is a presentation of the Utah Chiefs of Police Association's accreditation of the Provo Police Department. Acting Police Chief Troy Beebe will be our presenter. Welcome.
Thank you, Council, Mayor. This is an opportunity for us to celebrate our achieving of accreditation. The accreditation process was a collaborative effort by sworn and non-sworn employees. We were very fortunate to receive a high level of support from HR, facilities, finance, and legal through this process. The accreditation required us to analyze every facet of our police department to ensure we were operating at the highest standards required by the accreditation committee. From the beginning, it was refreshing to see that our police department was very close to meeting the high professional standards required for the accreditation, and only small adjustments were required. Transitioning to the new building was a key piece in meeting the requirements, as there were requirements that could not be met due to the limitations of the old building. I'd like to introduce Val Shoup. He is the director of the Utah Chiefs of Police Association, and he's over the accreditation of our police department.
Thank you, Chief. Council, Mayor, it is a privilege on behalf of the Utah Chiefs of Police to be here in Provo. It's taken us a while. They actually did this accreditation in March, and we have moved this forward. What we're glad to see, Chief Beebe jumped all over this when we contacted him, wanted that presentation done, and so we're really glad to be here and make that presentation. To give you just a real quick background of what the accreditation is. Accreditation is a series of, we have 174 standards that must be met by a department before they can be accredited. It's a tedious process because they have to go through all their policies, not just state, but they have to go state law, they have federal law, they have city ordinances that they have to abide by, and they have to give us examples that they're using it. Not only does it have to be in their policy manual, but they have to give us examples that they're actually doing what it says they're doing. And they have to show that. They have to give us a yearly report that they are maintaining and following updates. We have a commission that reviews this to make sure that they're adhering to those policies. Once that's passed through that commission, it then goes to the executive board of the Utah Chiefs of Police Association for approval. And once that's approved, then we make that presentation to the department. It's critical that they follow these guidelines because in these days, and especially right now, for example, I'll give you an example. There was a mandate that came down through the President of the United States that we would have a no chokehold and that we would have deadly force. Those had to be within the standards that are prescribed through the accreditation process. And they had to show that they had that in their standards. So anything that comes out with regards to new policies, with regards to Lexipol, who your department adheres to, it goes through the Powered EMS platform and is sent down through an accreditation process and reviewed, and then it goes through into the departments, and they have to make sure that they adhere to those policies. So having said that, I am here to make a presentation to the department. We have a plaque here that says Provo Police Department approved and accredited in recognition for the completion of the standards for certification and accreditation as prescribed and mandated by the Utah Chiefs of Police Association, March of 2022. Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. All right. Well, we're very proud of our police department and grateful for their service and grateful for that accreditation process to be complete. We'll go to item number 2, which is an implied motion on a resolution consenting to the appointment of an individual to the Transportation and Mobility Advisory Committee. Mayor Kaufusi will present. I should notice also that Travis Hoban has joined us online for this meeting. Go ahead, Mayor Kaufusi.
Okay. Council Chair Hanley and members of the Municipal Council, I am recommending the following appointment to Provo City boards and commissions as indicated and submit them herewith of the council's advice and consent. The committee is the Transportation Mobility Advisory Committee, and the nominee is David A. Hurtado. David is a 40-year Provo resident with an interest in transportation and smart development. I am recommending David be appointed to a 3-year term as an alternate on the Transportation Mobility Advisory Committee. His term would be ending June 30th, 2025.
Thank you. Okay, is there any discussion of this item? Council? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote from the council. Councilor Ellsworth,
Yes.
Councilor Fillmore,
Yes.
I, George Hanley, will vote yes. Counselor Hoban,
Yes.
Counselor McKay,
Yes.
Counselor Shipley,
Yes.
Counselor Whipple.
Yes.
Okay, that vote is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 3 is a resolution appointing an individual to the Civil Service Commission. This will be presented by Gary Millward, Assistant City Attorney.
Thank you, Chair, Council, Mayor. Appreciate the opportunity to present this tonight. My computer is upstairs doing funny things. IT is working on it. So I have none of my notes except for what I printed out. So hopefully there won't be too many questions about this. I believe some of you are familiar with it. Recently, we had a resignation from the Civil Service Commission, and the council appoints members of that commission. We have a pending matter that needs to be heard relatively soon. So we have a name that has been set forward. Her candidacy has been reviewed by the legal department and complies with all applicable state and local legal requirements for her appointment. And that person's name is Holly Fluman. So we are presenting her for confirmation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion of this appointment? All right, we'll call for a vote then. I'll begin with Counselor Fillmore.
Yes.
I, George Hanley, will vote yes. Counselor Hoban,
Yes.
Counselor McKay,
Yes.
Counselor Shipley,
Yes.
Counselor Whipple,
Yes.
Counselor Ellsworth.
Yes.
All right, that vote is unanimous. We'll turn to item number 4, which is an implied motion on a resolution appropriating $15,050 in the general fund for an information technology assessment. We had a presentation on this item a couple of weeks ago, so this will be the second hearing for this. Kelsey Zarbuck, City Budget Officer, and David Elgis will present this item.
Thank you. As mentioned, this item was presented in work meeting on November 15th. It's regarding an IT information technology assessment. And tonight we're coming to you to ask for an appropriation from the general fund for $15,050. The estimated cost for this IT assessment is $30,100, but half of that will be funded through our Information Systems Division's fiscal year 23 budget. And then the other half is what we're asking for the appropriation from. John Borget is here to answer questions, as well as David Elgis from Hartman Executive Advisors. He's on the Zoom call to answer questions as well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Councilor McKay.
I was just going to say that I know in the budget this year, we definitely had concerns about IT and wanting to make sure they had everything they needed. So I'm glad that we're doing this study.
Okay, I'll call for any public comment on this item. Anyone from the public wish to comment on this? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the council for discussion and a vote. Any discussion of this item? Okay, seeing none, I will call for a vote. I'll begin with myself. I, George Hanley, will vote yes. Counselor Hoban,
Yes.
Counselor McKay,
Yes.
Counselor Shipley,
Yes.
Counselor Whipple,
Yes.
Counselor Ellsworth,
Yes.
and Counselor Fillmore.
Yes.
That vote is again unanimous. So item number 5 has been continued. So that is the conclusion of this very, very long meeting tonight. If there is no objection, we will now adjourn the Provo Municipal Council meeting by unanimous consent.
Wow.